Hi, and welcome back. My name is Antonio Serif from CRRNTN.com. Continues the series Hollywood movie title. Today we realize the Transformers 3 animation. In this tutorial, we will face the difficult task of creating this animation, trying to pay attention to detail. The method we use can be redesigned to customize your text or logo. In the first part, we will start with the modeling technique of the letters in Cinema 4D, proceed with the construction of the interior of the O letter, with a high-tech coating. Inside you can place any object or video you like. It will complete with the compositing in After Effects. OK. The cuts in front position of the letters can be prepared before, in the Your Vector Graphics software. As we can see, in the layers of the file, I added the guide references for the center of the scene, the subtitle, the logo with the full paths, and finally the cups layer with the cuts. The central part of the logo, it makes more cuts. You can align our scene directly in the Vector Graphics software, dragging the zero of the rules in the cross-axis and save the document. Open Cinema 4D and modify frame rate from 30 to 24. The maximum time, from 90 to 135. Open the render settings, and we put measures, 1920, 800. We set all frames. Save as QuickTime Movie, and activate Alpha Channel. Anti-aliasing on best. Finally, insert a camera, and we set the Z coordinates, -1920. We import the vector document. And as we can see, the document is aligned. We can delete the reference guides. We select the subtitle layer, and rename it Dark of the Moon. The layer with the full paths, rename it Body Letter. And we complete with select the layer of the cuts letters and rename it Caps Cuts. OK. We start with apply in the body letter layer, and extrusion. Activate hierarchical, and insert a depth to 35. Subdivision, 2. Go to the caps panel, and insert none on cap start, and fillet on cap end. With radius to 4.25. Duplicate body letter, and rename bevel. In this layer, in Caps panel, activate Fillet on Cap Start, and disable Cap End on None. Even here, the value of the radius is 4.25. In the Object panel, modify depth to 0.1. In this way, we got only the frontal bevel of the letters. We select the Caps Cuts layer, and apply an extrusion. Depth to 4.25. In Coordinates panel, we insert in the Z position, minus 4.25. As we can see, the E letter has on the extrusion problem in some paths. We select the paths from 94 to 97, and activate the Selection Points tool. The problem is in the path 95, because there is a overlap point. Duplicate the path layer, and with the Rectangle Select tool, select the points on the top part, and delete. On path 95, repeat the same procedure at the bottom of the letter. Okay, we solved the problem. This is the base of the original logo. Add the caps of the back later. Add a small extrusion in the subtitle Dark of the Moon, with depth 2. We make a render. To correct the problem, select all the layers, and connect them. To work smoothly, organize and rename the distribution of letters. The paths of the letter O must be connected. Duplicate letters from body letters group layer and drag it inside to bevel layer. We select the layer Caps Cuts, and repeat the above steps. Group them where it is needed. Proceed with the insert of textures and lights. The materials and lights used in this tutorial are the same as those used in the tutorial Jonah Hex. You can see their realization in the Jonah Hex tutorial. Open the file Material and Light, select the light system, insert it in our project. We make a render to see the result. Insert the materials in our project. The material Metal 4 is a duplicate of the metal material, to which I applied a texture Metal Sci-Fi and will be applied to the body letter. The material Noise 01 and Noise 02 have active, the alpha. Through a texture in black and white, we can get different effects of dirt on our letters. The subtitle material has a gradient in the luminance. The Metal 1 material will be applied to the bevel of the letters. The Metal 2 material will be placed on the caps of the letters. Finally, the Metal 3 material will be applied on the body of letters at the end of the animation. We apply the Metal 2 material on layer caps cuts. Insert C1 on selection line, and modify the texture projection on cubic. We make a render and visualize the result. We apply the material Noise 01 on the layer caps cuts with the same properties of the material Metal 02. As we can see, has created a film overlay. You can apply the Noise 01 that you like. I have applied the noise with the brightness to 150. With the same procedure, we apply the material Noise 02. We make a render and visualize the result. Very interesting. To improve the distribution of the Noise 1, we modify the length U from 100 to 200. And in the material Noise 2 modify the length U and V to 200. We make a render. To change the color of the noise, we need to open the color panel. We apply the material Metal 1 on the layer bevel. Insert R1 on line selection, and the texture projection on cubic. Duplicate the Noise 1 and 2 on the bevel layer by pressing the Ctrl key. Modify selection line from C1 to R1. We make a render to see the result. Insert the Metal 4 material on the body letter layer. Modify offset U and V with 14 and 1. Length V to 101. Tiles U to 9. We select the material of the layer bevel, duplicate them and apply them on body letter. Modify R1 to R2. Rename caps frontal. Duplicate and rename caps behind. In the coordinates panel, insert on Z, 35. Delete C1 on selection. We apply the material on the subtitle. Insert on selection, C1, and projection on cubic. Activate lights and camera and visualize the result. We select the layer caps frontal and press the C key to divide and organize the letters. We repeat the same procedure for each layer. We select the converted on the layer, we duplicate them, and group together them. Rename T letter. We eliminate all the other letters that are not needed. Follow the procedure on the monitor. Repeat the same procedure on all letters. This procedure takes several minutes. As we can see, we have separated all the letters. Rename the document TF3-2. Before proceeding with the subdivision for the animation, we see that the textures are distributed properly. In caps frontal of T letter, we modify the parameters to better distribute the texture. Follow the procedure on the video. Okay, this is the result. Save a copy of the file and rename TF3-3. Proceed with the subdivision for the animation of the letters. Open the file letter O sample. As we can see, the letter has been divided and grouped into groups by the animation. I have applied an animation manual for a movement like the original. You can use plugins, but you'll get a result random different, because the cuts do not match. Follow on screen. In this animation, the letter O is in the foreground. For better effect, I added a border. Finally, at the top left, you need to cut the parts to simulate the opening of a door. OK. Let's go back in the document TF3-3. We disable all the letters except the letter O inside. We disable all layers except the bevel. We convert the extrusion in the polygonal object by pressing C. Is not to lose the properties of the materials applied. Connect first the elements that make up the polygonal object, later, group together it with the null object. With the rectangle selection tool we select the top right corner. With the right button we select Split tool. Rename the new layer, Bevel 2, delete the polygon selected in the first layer. Delete the remain selection. To make precise cuts use as a reference the front view, and activate the cap's frontal. With the right button, we activate the knife tool and we make the cuts necessary. We repeat the procedure of the split. We make the last cut on bevel for the simulation of the door. Follow the steps on the video. Activate the body letter duplicated, and drag out the path from extrusion layer. We select the points and with the right button, we select Create Outline tool. We apply a distance of 4.25. Apply the extrusion on body letter duplicated, disable fillet, and activate only the start and end caps. Edit the on selection R2 to C1. and replace the metal one with the metal 2. To apply on the back on duplicate and insert on selection C2. We convert the extrusion in the polygonal object pressing the letter C. Again, group together all the elements. Rename the layer in the border O. Delete to the polygonal object the parts do not need. We select the profile that makes up the inside of the letter. And in the coordinates panel, insert on Z, -4.25. We repeat the same step in the back, inserting a value of 39.25. We got the border. View the result. Follow the procedure on video to complete the letter. We continue the procedure of knife and split on the layer border. In this case, to simulate a proper closing, we need to create a polygon. We correct the application of the texture. We repeat the procedure at the top. To complete, we return on body letter layer, we select the layer extrusion, and convert it to polygon object. OK, after you have cut, split and organized all the cuts, we select from groups layers, the parts that make up the cut sections. We group them together. This will allow us to animate it easily.